Welcome back to the Lockroom Chronicles. My name is Larissa and today we're doing a book club episode. We are doing a Lockroom Chronicles book club and I'm so excited. Alright, if you watched my last reading vlog, then you will know that I really want to start a book club, but my problem is like I don't know very many people in the area, and I also am such a mood reader that I like to read what I want to read and then I want to discuss that. So I am forming a little book club on this channel. The book that we will be discussing today is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I did read this in my weekly reading blog. I really enjoyed it. It was my first ever Colleen Hoover read and I'm so excited to be finally fully a part of the fandom. I've loved her and followed her on social media for too long without having read her books because I knew I would love them and be consumed by them. So if you are unfamiliar with book clubs, there will be spoilers. Okay, so just so you are aware, if you do not want to be spoiled with this book, please exit now, read the book, and then come back to this and we'll have a grand old time. I will put all the questions down in the description box if you would like to answer them in the comments or take them to your own book club with your friends that I'm not a part of, which we need to fix. Okay, cool. I did get the questions from a blog and it's, I believe, reads by Mandy, I don't know, their link is in there. I did add one of my own questions in there that I felt like they missed. We are going to discuss Ugly Love. I'm so excited. Like, look how many tabs, so many tabs in here. My kind of default color coordination, pink is for spicy or love or cute kind of thing, but that kind of changed halfway through because there were so many spicy scenes. There were so many spicy scenes and I was like, I don't know which ones are cute and lovey and which ones are like spicy. So pink is for spicy, orange is for funny, cute, haha, laugh moments, green is for like plot or things that will be important in the future, like forward moving plot or important things to note. Blue is emotional, so any strong emotions, mainly sad or like angry or anything like that. Purple is quotes or just like passages or writing that I really like. Let's get into it. So first of all, wow. Right? Wow. Alright, so if you are sticking around here, you have already read the book or you don't mind being spoiled. So first question is, what were your thoughts before starting the book? And listen, I'm a basic bitch. I knew I would most likely really like this book due to the people that I follow who really like Colleen Hoover's writing, and I am a very easy reader to please. I don't dislike a lot of books, and I knew that if the majority like a book, I will also really like a book or an author, and that rings true. I was nervous because obviously everybody continually talks about how much this book made them cry and how like the Coho has just a way of putting these big plot twists in that you just never know. And I mean, I knew it was friends to lovers-ish. Yeah. So I knew that going into it. With the cover art, I didn't really understand until we read it, you know? The cover art threw me for a bit. I thought this was going to take place mostly near the water. I mean, Miles and Corbin and all the guys are pilots, and the fact that the cover is water, I'm like, what is that about? I don't get it. The fact that it was because Miles drove the car into the water that ended his baby, or well, not intentionally, but the fact that him and Rachel and his baby were trapped underwater, and that's why he is the way he is. That gave the cover a whole new meaning. And wow, when I finally got it, I was like, oh damn. Third question, Did you like the way the chapters alternated between past and present? Yes, I was intrigued, mainly because Miles in the past was like golden retriever energy, so caring, so loving, so understanding, just really was a great partner and was so expressive and forthcoming with his feelings, to the present where he is an absolute dick. Like just how cold he is and how gaslighty he is. It really angered me, and obviously I wanted to keep reading to figure out why he is the way he is. I thought I knew, and I was half right when I guessed the truth about. I thought both Rachel and the baby were going to die. I mean, when I found out that they were pregnant. When they were pregnant, I was like, what? Oh my goodness. Tea. And then when I just found out that it was the baby, that was very sad. I mean, that explains like why he was so closed off with just that trauma and not dealing with that. That was tough. But my young Miles was so sweet, so caring, so generous, and then for him to act the way he does in the present was, I didn't like it. But yeah, I love dual timelines and dual POVs in books. So I eat that up. Question 4. What did you think of the relationship between Tate and Miles? Not healthy. Not healthy in the slightest. I don't know if it could be clinically diagnosed as gaslighting, but it was very gaslight vibes, and I did not like that. I have been in situationships where it's been like that, and like, I'm getting teary just thinking about it. Whew. It hit a lot. It hit close to home, and it made me really angry at her, also myself, for allowing someone to treat her and treat me that way in the past. And oh my gosh, I'm getting way too emotional about this. Whew. Okay, I'm just gonna blame it that it's hot and I'm sweating, okay? The sweat coming out of my eyeballs. I absolutely hated their relationship. I hated it mainly because I've been there. I've been in that relationship, and it is so anxiety ridden. With Tate, you get so preoccupied and anxious and always thinking that you're not good enough when you know it's their issues, and they've told you that it's their issues, but there's always that little voice in the back of your head that's saying, if you could just be a certain way, they would love you, or you can fix them, you know? And yeah. And I mean, it took her walking away finally and getting that space moving was the best thing that Tate did. I didn't really like the ending at all. I mean, I did in the fact that I love happy endings, and I love when things are wrapped up nicely and everybody gets together, but I did not like the message that this book sent. You cannot change him. I mean, you can, but you can't. Like, I was really upset that Tate and him got back together. Obviously, Miles came to the light of reason, but I don't want young, impressionable teenage girls or young 20s to have to go through this like I did. You don't stick around, you know? I was so disappointed. I don't know. I know the message itself wasn't, you can change him, he does want you, that kind of thing. I think that's unrealistic in a lot of cases, or can cause a cycle of actual gaslighting relationships and toxic relationships with a narcissist. And in the end, yes, I'm very happy that Miles and Tate did get together, but I do not like that type of relationship. I think it is terrible. They need to go to couples counseling, because now she has to get over all of his issues from what he's conditioned her to believe. Like, you don't think that she's going to have these predisposed, or, you know, he essentially told her to not ask questions about his past or future or whatever it was. You don't think she's gonna have that repressed thought coming in? Like, she's gonna have to work out her own stuff now. It's not just gonna be easy peasy. And I know, like, at the end when he's like, I will tell you just in my own time, I think that was really great, but I wish there would have been mention of them both going to counseling separately and together to work on their issues. We're only 4 questions in, and I really went all out on that one. I'm so sorry. I'm very passionate about this, and I did not like that. All right, so what did you think of Miles? Question 5. I really did love past Miles. Present Miles is a dick. I think I established that. And past Miles was so attentive and loving and supportive, and a really great, I mean, a little obsessive, a little stalkery, but I mean, aren't we all? Present Miles, I couldn't stand him. I won't continue on that soapbox. I was very disappointed in the fact, again, that he overcame years of trauma with one discussion with Rachel. And like going back into that retriever energy almost, like, I mean, yeah, he was still a little distant, but the fact that he pretty much like overcame everything in that, after that one conversation, like, yes, that could be very relieving, but he has years of repressed emotions bottled up inside of him. And it was very difficult for me to grasp that he could just, no, I love you. And did you like Tate as a main character? Yes and no. Obviously, for the reasons I stated, I saw very much myself in her situation, and I did not like that. Because I've done the same things, and it's terrible, and it hit a little too close to home. And but I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of her history to figure out why she is the way she is. Opening chapter, she is very combative to the point of, I wish I would know if she had some sort of sexual trauma or assault trauma that she went through, just because the way she was talking about it, it made me feel like she had. And I feel like that would have been great for understanding her character development, and why she does get into a relationship like this. Also, just like how her brother is so overprotective of her makes me wonder, again, did she have some sort of sexual assault against her to make him that protective? Because that is aggressively protective of her brother. But that's just my opinion. I know other families are not like mine. My brothers aren't as hands-on into my relationships and not that protective, like overprotective of me. They'll go to battle for me if needed, but the way Corbin is, like, he's a little much. So it makes me think that there was a history with the past guys she's dated, but I could be very wrong. Question 7 is, what were your thoughts on Cap and his relationship to Tate? I thought he was like the omnipresent, all-seeing, wise old owl. I thought their relationship was very cute, and he was very supportive and just like a good friend to both Tate and Miles, because he just listened. He listened to both of them without revealing each other's secrets, and I think that was very important, and he is a very solid confidant. So yeah, and Cap is just a funny old man. He's so goofy. This is a question I added. What are your thoughts on Miles and Rachel's relationship / family dynamic? The fact that they met each other before they knew that their parents were together, I feel like it's so weird, but I feel like that gives it the okay. But also like the insta love was a little weird. Like obviously they were infatuated, but the fact that Miles was like, she's gonna have my babies, like that, very obsessive teen puppy love, but also just like how open and honest and forthcoming they were with their feelings. It was very adult-like. And when they did find out that they were pregnant, Miles, he thought of everything. Well, but I mean, he should have told Rachel that he was going out and trying to figure their lives out, because yeah, I would have been pissed too if all of a sudden he would have just left after me telling him that I was pregnant or something. That would be awful. The fact that their parents thought they would automatically think of each other as step siblings or like siblings or have a sibling dynamic while they're in high school, while they're both attractive, their hormones are raging, like that was very naive of their parents. Are you kidding me? Like you're gonna put two hot people together in the same house who have raging hormones, aren't related to each other, and just like, I mean, even if they would have just messed around as like, I don't know. Yeah, obviously they're not gonna see each other as step siblings. They just met each other. Are you kidding me? So that's on their parents. They did not think that through. Like obviously their parents probably like, oh, we have a year of history together. That does not mean that your kids have a year of history together to view each other as siblings. So that's on the parents, you know? I'm saying it what it was. Obviously it should have been handled better. And what are your thoughts on Tate's brother Corbin? I mean, I kind of already got into this. He's overprotective for unknown reasons. I mean, there's a level of brother-sibling protectiveness that's okay, but he really oversteps. We don't know if Tate has had a history of sexual assault, and that's why, but he's also just such a hypocrite. And I really loved when Tate called him out for that, for being such a hypocrite and like sleeping with these girls and never calling them again. Because yeah, and I mean, I think that's also why he is so overprotective, because he's trying to protect, in a weird way, protect Tate from guys like him. Because he can't own up to the fact that he's a tool, you know, being a fuckboy for sure. Question 10, did you think the story was a good pace? Yes, it did take me a long time to get through it, mainly because I was super busy the week that I read this. It was so beautiful that I was outside. But I love how quick that it was paced and like kept going. It was wonderful. Yeah, I thought the pacing was very good. And 11, what are your thoughts on the writing style? I loved it. Again, fast-paced writing. And this is something the Flat Share by Beth O'Leary did too. And I loved the differences between the speech patterns and even the text alignment. That, oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Just like, that was so great. I loved the fact that it did not feel like the same author, two different people writing it. That's what I'm trying to say. Or like two different people's perspectives. And, you know, it is a beautiful craft, I think, personally, to do that. Because obviously when you're writing in your own words and how you would text it. So to step into two different minds and make their differences so profound between each is such a skill, and I absolutely love that. Even like, yeah, obviously you can do that in separate books, like duh, but just the fact that you're taking these two people in the same story and giving them such different voices is really spectacular to me. I'm a really big fan of that. I loved it in the Flat Share. I thought that was absolutely wonderful, and I really loved it in this book as well. And then will you read more of Colleen Hoover's work? Yes, 112,000% yes. I am going to be reading Verity in October for spooky season, because that's her thriller, and I'm thrilled to be reading it. And lastly, I'm just gonna find some quotes, some writing that I really loved. I thought this was very important. On page 56, this is Miles finding out that his father was cheating on his mother with Lisa. Well, supposedly. Obviously, we find out that that wasn't the case, that they had separated but stayed together just for logistical reasons. When Miles says, now he's just normal, human. And maybe that's a rite of passage before you become a man, realizing your father doesn't have life figured out any more than you do. I forget who, I feel like I was listening to Remy Cruz on Pretty Basic Podcast, and she mentioned this too, and it was like a very big light bulb moment. Your life changes when you look at your parents and realize they're just people figuring it out. There's nothing, I don't want to say nothing special. Your parents are obviously special. Your parents are just human. They make very human mistakes. They do not have all the answers. And when you finally realize that, it's kind of like a very big light bulb moment into your own adulthood. And it can be kind of startling. Page 59. Everything is Miles. That's how it is when a person develops an attraction towards someone. He's nowhere, then suddenly he's everywhere, whether you want him to be or not. Feel that, girl! And it's so frustrating too. Like, you could just be living your life and all of a sudden you look up and see, boom, something that triggers them. It's annoying in the fact that you're like, is the universe trying to tell me something? Should I be with this person? Ugh! It just pops up in the most random times, so I get it. Oh yeah, this one. I'm an agenda now. I don't want to be an agenda. I want to be a plan, a map. I want to be on a map to his future. WinCap. On page 197, WinCap says, if that boy can't see what a good thing he could have with you, then he ain't worth your time. Cap, you need to say this to me every single day of my life, okay? Because that hits so hard. And then I felt this one too. I'm lying. I really do want to be a part of his issues. I want to immerse myself in his issues and become his issues, but I'm supposed to be the independent, headstrong girl who doesn't cave just because she likes the guy. Yes. Yes, that is why I relate so much to Tate, because I'm like, I realize I am being a dumb hoe, but I want to continue being a dumb hoe. There's a few more. Some people, they grow wiser as they grow older. Unfortunately, most people just grow older. Those are a few of my favorite quotes. Yep, there are a few more, but those ones I felt the most. I really enjoyed this book. I usually don't say what I rate books, but I will say, because it's book club, I rated this a 4 stars. I think I will genuinely like other versions of Colleen's writing more. This, again, as I stated, I did not like the ending. I did not like the you can change him attitude, even though it really wasn't, but it felt like it to me. I really liked the quick pace. I really liked the dual POVs and the dual timelines, and Miles finally overcoming his past trauma and not letting go, but moving forward. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope you enjoyed our first ever Lockwood Chronicles book club. Take a gander at the questions linked in the description, as well as the link to the book club questions. That I think they have quite a few different books on their website. Feel free to respond in the comments or react or say your thoughts in the comments, and I'll reply as best and quickly as I can. And let's look forward to our next month's book club. When I do my October TBR, we can do that, you know? We can decide from there. Well, with that being said, again, thank you so much for being here. Respect others, respect yourself, and do something amazing with your day. Thanks. Bye.